Sir Alex Ferguson, legendary former Manchester United manager, watching on from the director's box. Good to see him looking so well after his health problems. So Luke Shaw brings it down just on the edge of the centre circle. 25 gone, still 0-0. Lindelof back to David De Gea, all in green. Not sure Fred wanted the ball played out to the edge of the penalty area. It's cleared upfield by United. Then Fernandes has given away a free kick. He is perplexed. It's a free kick for Southampton. I think the player down is Romain Peru.
I'm not a fan of this referee, to be honest. I've seen him in previous seasons. I've never been a fan of his. He's always very, very quick to get cards out.
I think he did catch him, Fernandes.
I personally don't think he actually. I don't think he touched the ball, Fernandes. He definitely didn't touch the player. Didn't touch him where he actually was going down holding as he fell over. So that's the bit that I think is annoying Fernandes. He didn't get the ball.
And these set pieces, you feel, maybe are Southampton's best route to goal, with the delivery of James Ward-Prowse. Puts his left arm in the air. And that one should be headed clear by Fernandes, and Fred trying to release Greenwood straight away. Ward-Prowse there just to usher it back to Livramento in the centre circle. A good turn of pace from him. Just run in to Lindelof, and Manchester United have it back with Greenwood on the left hand side. Tries a little turn, but Livramento back there to snuffle back possession for Southampton, and it's clipped forward now for a throw. 0-0.
It weren't the best free kick I've seen Ward-Prowse take, to be honest. He's gone central, he's gone very narrow with the kick rather than going to the far post. But then all of a sudden, no Southampton players maybe read what he was trying to do. He ended up with two Manchester United players attacking the ball.
Manu Matic dropping almost to become a fifth member of the back four, brings the ball out towards the centre of the Manchester United half, away to our left. Still a sunny afternoon on the south coast. Wan-Bissaka's been dispossessed by Armstrong, and here's Djenepo, who is quick down the left hand side. Fred will have to be on his mettle here. Dancing feet from Djenepo, finds Armstrong, curls one towards the top corner, just over the crossbar, and David De Gea screaming at his Manchester United defence for allowing Armstrong to get the shot away.
Yeah, it's as good as it's been for Southampton. Djenepo's done really well, and he finds Armstrong. Armstrong was looking at the keeper's top left hand side. I think De Gea was just a little bit annoyed about the closing down. Really, no goalkeeper wants shots at them, but what they want is people to try and actually be close enough to defend a shot, and they wasn't there, Manchester United. A little bit at sea for the first time in his first half.
Manchester United have finished an average of 22 points behind the champions since Sir Alex Ferguson retired back in 2013. They will be hopeful of at least reducing that gap to the likes of Manchester City this time around with the big summer investment they've made. It's Southampton on the attack here with Djenepo again, jinking his way beyond Matic this time. Good challenge by Fred. Djenepo goes down theatrically, but no question it was a penalty. It's with Salisu now in the centre circle. Good little spell from Southampton, Paul Parker.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it's about Djenepo when he gets in it. He does all those step overs. I just wish he would drive at somebody really and go and actually ask a question rather than doing it like an Irish jig in front of people and not actually looking to go past them with the ball.
16 minutes of the first half to play. 0-0 here. Tottenham leading Wolves by a goal to nil at Molineux. And Arsenal against Chelsea still to come at 4:30 UK time. We'll have the team news in around about an hour's time. Will Romelu Lukaku go straight into Chelsea starting 11, you wonder?
I will say, as for United as well, Martial hasn't had a lot of the ball in the last 10 to 15 minutes. He's hardly been in it.
He's trying to hassle and harry Ward-Prowse there, but Ward-Prowse has still found Livramento. Low ball into the area. Walcott couldn't bring it under control, and then Luke Shaw has put Maguire under pressure. He had to get there ahead of Shea Adams. Fred with a scoop clearance out to Fernandes on the left, and he's been barged off the ball by Stevens. No foul, says the referee. Djenepo into Armstrong, back heel to release Adams, might get a shot off here. Shea Adams! Southampton lead! Half an hour gone at St Mary's. A bot from the blue for the team in blue, and it's Shea Adams who sends the home fans into raptures. Southampton 1, Manchester United 0.
Well, that started from Luke Shaw giving a decent ball, in my opinion, back to Harry Maguire. Maguire was more bothered about asking about an offside, which was an offside. His arm up for that. And when he gets the ball, he's still looking at the official. The ball gets given in there to Fernandes. It's not a foul. He's trying to be clever. He's looking for a foul. Doesn't react in the right way, going back for the ball. And Shea Adams goes at Maguire.
He's taking a massive deflection off Fred.
Maguire goes down on his knees. I don't know why. I don't know why he's looking for a foul there either. Fernandes, it's not a foul, but he stays on the floor looking for it, doesn't recover, and actually try and win the ball back off of Jack Stevens. And he does take the deflection, but as the saying goes, Alex, if you don't shoot, you don't score. And that's maybe one of the reasons why United are 1-0 down, because they've had all the play. They have not worked a poor goalkeeper enough in the Southampton goal.
Well, it's that same old story, isn't it, for Manchester United away from home, as they did time and again last season. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side are going to have to come from behind here. Bruno Fernandes still trantering at Craig Pawson.
I think that's more through embarrassment he's doing that, because that was never a foul in a million years. He might have got it last season, the way refereeing was, that no-touch game, but now when they're saying they're going to allow the game to become a little bit of a man's game, now you've got to deal with it, and Fernandes doesn't seem to want to deal with it, because I'll tell you what, if he'd done a challenge like that on somebody and they gave a foul, he'll be fuming.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for the first time this afternoon out on his feet on the edge of the technical area. Big call, wasn't it, to put Anthony Martial up front after Greenwood played as the number 9, scored against Leeds. Dan James dropped to the bench. Fernandes, by the way, has been yellow carded, presumably for dissent.
Yeah, well, be honest, that's poor on his part, really.
Here is Fernandes trying to have a positive influence at the other end, looking for Pogba. Livramento slips, and Pogba wriggles away from a couple of challenges, gets to the byline, pulls it back behind Martial. Wan-Bissaka with a chance to keep United on the front foot here. Here's Greenwood still being jeered by the Saints fans. All of a sudden it looks a difficult afternoon for Manchester United. Fernandes out to Wan-Bissaka. Fred wants the ball on the edge of the penalty area, gets the ball, plays it into Fernandes, who wanted Wan-Bissaka to continue his run. He did so. The pass was overcooked, and it's a goal kick for Southampton, who lead Manchester United 1-0.
But I think it was more about there is that the pass was there. Aaron Wan-Bissaka has to make the pass by making a run. He didn't react until the ball was kicked, and that was the problem. That's why he never got there. He should have been anticipating it.
Deflection on the shot from Adams off the left boot of Fred certainly sent the ball spiralling beyond David De Gea in the Manchester United goal. May well have had it covered without the intervention of the Brazilian. Not the Southampton or Shea Adams will be complaining. And it becomes a test of character now, doesn't it, as much as footballing ability, Paul, for your old club?
It certainly does in that way. Yes, they come back there last season, but there was no one in the stadium. Southampton never had anyone in that stadium to help them over the line with getting that 2-goal lead. This time they've got the fans there, but that can be a hindrance as well, because he could put some of these players with a lot of them, like the likes of Alan Armstrong, no great experience at this level of football. How's he going to react to this situation of being 1-0 up against Manchester United? Certain players just disappear when the crowd can work against them as well as for them.
They did come back from 2-0 down here, an extraordinary game last season. Edinson Cavani with a couple of headed goals, having been called off the bench, and United do have those weapons that we talked about. Jadon Sancho ready and willing. I wonder if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer already may be contemplating changes. Here is Harry Maguire, the Manchester United captain, forward to Fred, out to the right hand side, and Greenwood now. Pogba has made a good run into the centre. McCarthy got there ahead of the Frenchman. The ball just hung in the air in favour of the Southampton goalkeeper. And it remains Saints 1, Manchester United 0. Saints, though, have dropped 60 points from winning position since Ralph Hasenhüttl came in as manager. So a 1-0 lead is never a comfortable one for the home team. Throw in for United in front of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, just urging a bit more urgency, I think, from his players.
What happens as well, if this was to go into the second half in the same way, the fans as well will be getting a little bit nervous as well, which that spreads to teams as well. Those kind of inexperienced side of being not used to being in front against the big boys really. So Southampton are going to have to really work hard physically and mentally to hold on to this advantage.
Fred brought down by Adams.
Dribbled into trouble there, Fred. Too many touches in the end. United, for Fred to be successful, they have to play at a decent tempo. The moment they slow down with Fred playing, Fred then gets a little bit too much time to start thinking about things. He's at his best at high tempo games where he controls, pass and moves. When he has 2 or 3 touches in a short short area, that's the likely times he gets caught in possession or gives it away.
Paul Pogba has been penalised for holding on to Theo Walcott. Last away defeat for Manchester United in the Premier League. Remember Liverpool back in February 2020, a 2-0 reverse at Anfield. They are 1-0 down here with 9 minutes remaining in the first half, and Pogba again has given away a free kick, clipping the heels of the 18-year-old Livramento. Frustration beginning to creep in for the visitors.
Yeah, when you mentioned something about Ollie got up when they went 1-0 down, he does that a lot. I think sometimes it's good for him to actually stand up generally, just to be there rather than pick him when they go behind.
It's been a sloppy performance at times from United, and really that epitomised with a goal they conceded, overplaying it out from their own back line. Fernandes crying wolf, and Shea Adams taking full advantage with a deflected opener. Looks a different player now, Shea Adams, the one that struggled so much in his first season at St Mary's. Took 38 games to score his first goal. When he did, it was spectacular, a lob against Manchester City here.
The thing about it as well, though, during all those 38 games, and you would have seen a lot of them, Alex, is that he never stopped working, did he? Didn't hide.
No, and I think that endeared himself not just to Ralph Harsden, who took it to the Southampton fans as well. Still 1-0 at Molineux. Tottenham lead. Dele Alli with the early penalty. 1-0 Southampton lead here, and Arsenal-Chelsea coming up later from the Emirates. Gineppo winning possession high up the pitch for Southampton, and Perot's cross is blocked behind by Fred for a corner.
And it was a corner. They worked hard for that, Southampton. You can just see when things are going right, all of a sudden he gets Gineppo on his own there, but all of a sudden his teammates come in and get in and around him, and they earn a corner out of it when they could have given up possession there and just funneled back, and then here we go again, we're defending, but they worked hard to close United down on their own byline.
James Ward-Prowse again stands over the set piece. Southampton's third corner of the first half. Puts his left arm up to the Hampshire sky, and he's headed away by Paul Pogba from underneath his own crossbar. Martial, who's been a passenger really, trying to get United on the front foot. Well, one back by Oriol Romeu, and stabs it out to Adams. Another little back heel from Armstrong, looking for Walcott. Shaw there first, and this is where United really need to up the tempo. Luke Shaw just inside the Saints half, into the feet of Pogba in the centre circle. That's Fernandes ahead of him. Wan-Bissaka's made a good run to the right. Fernandes shifts it the other way. It's very congested, and Greenwood tries to hook it goalwards, but it's behind for a goal kick.
And that was the wrong selection for me by Fernandes. The space was on the right hand side. Wan-Bissaka had made a run just off of him. That's where the space was, and he's gone for the eye of the needle pass, which Greenwood didn't see until late, because I think the centre half was just in front of him. If he'd have collected it, it would have been deemed a wonderful ball and Greenwood's touch, but in the end I thought it was a poor decision for him to try that pass when he could have kept possession with Wan-Bissaka on the right hand side overlapping.
Alex McCarthy, no clean sheets in his last 15 in the Premier League, takes the goal kick for Southampton, tiptoeing towards a half-time lead, given to them by Shea Adams. Deflected strike. Manchester United certainly at the moment haven't hit the heights they did against Leeds last weekend at Old Trafford. Here's Pogba, a little step over forward to Fernandes, who knocks it away from Stevens. And a back heel by Fernandes into Luke Shaw, having been closed down by Walcott. Shaw allowed to drift into the middle, and then finds Greenwood in the area, trying to bring it down first time. Greenwood blocked by Gineppo, and then Greenwood plays it against Gineppo and wins a corner. Well played by the teenage striker.
Yeah, very clever the way he done it there. Gineppo's tried to play a little bit of a game with assistant referee, like looking for a foul, but he overcooked it again. He just could have just cleared his lines there, but he's tried to be clever on his own defending byline, and he ends up giving Manchester United a corner. 3
corners apiece. Southampton lead 1-0. They have had issues with the deliveries throughout wide by Manchester United in this first half. Fernandes, right-footed, good ball in. Bounces around about the penalty spot. Maguire again was appealing when maybe should have just reacted and stabbed it goalwards. Here's Livramento, has the pace to get away from Fred down that right-hand side. The former Chelsea youngster. Purposeful drive from him into the centre. Armstrong flying in, couldn't get there. Well, maybe that's a snapshot of why Southampton are so excited about the 18-year-old Livramento. Adams just kept the ball in play. Gineppo looking for Romeu. It's picked up by Pogba. Now Matic, but all very tight and around the area. Walcott's got there ahead of Shaw. Maguire comes across and just ushers the ball behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, again, they almost got themselves in trouble there, Manchester United, by trying to overplay. But Livramento, what a run that was. It was easy to use the contact off of Fred and fall over, but he wanted to make a point, and he ran with a purpose to get the ball into the box, and he does that. And it's just a shame, really, that it was only Adam Armstrong who would actually believe he was going to put the ball in the box, that no one else made an effort to try and get into the box.
Manchester United fans still making plenty of noise in that away end. Their team trailing by a goal to nil. We've got 4 minutes the first half remaining here on Premier League Live. Certainly no sign of panic from United yet. They've been in this position a number of times in the recent past, particularly away from home. Here's Fernandes turning away from Walcott, sprays it out to Shaw. Shaw forward to Martial, little back heel, too intricate. And Stevens will clear for Southampton.
Didn't need that flick by Martial.
Well, giving it away though, and then Greenwood's been brought down. And this is a free kick at a very promising position. Needless foul by Pirot. Right on the edge of the D, very central.
Certainly was. Again, it was overplaying Jack Stevens. He's done well to come away with the ball, which was given away by Martial. He runs forward, then he makes his pass backwards, and they weren't prepared for it, to be honest, because they're thinking he was going to go forward with the ball.
I think we know what's coming here.
Yeah.
Bruno Fernandes licking his lips at the prospect of a chance to equalise with the free kick. Maguire is making a shield, just trying to get James Ward-Prowse out the way. I'm not sure what Ward-Prowse is doing really. Fred there as well, but I think it surely will be Fernandes, the hat-trick hero against Leeds last time out. Big test for Southampton right at the end of the first half. There's a 4-man wall, 2 yards inside the penalty area. Adams, Salisu, Stevens and Romeu. Gineppo just lying down behind it. Fernandes sizing up the goal. It's a difficult one for the goalkeeper because he can whip it into either corner. It's almost level with a penalty spot. Actually placed the ball down a good 4 yards away from where the actual foul took place, Fernandes, so he's given himself a bit more room to get it up and over the wall and down again. The other option would be just to slide it into Greenwood, who's unmarked almost inside the area, but I think he's going to shoot Fernandes.
Well, he's up against Walcott as well. He won't be alive to doing any defending, I'm sure.
Big moment in the first half for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes, right-footed into that wall. Not the best hit by his standards, and he's lucky really he's gone behind for a corner.
He was, and he doesn't seem happy with it.
He had so long to work out what he wanted to do, and he smashed it straight into the Southampton wall. It is Luke Shaw with a corner, back on his old stomping ground. The England defender had such a promising European Championships. Can United get back on turns before the break? Matic with a header. Good save, McCarthy.
I tell you what, it was a really, really good save by McCarthy, who hasn't really been worked. I think that's the first bit of work he's had to do, really, and it was a wonderful header by Matic as well. But it's the way that McCarthy's gone down on his left side, and he's held on to it, because I tell you what, any kind of movement away from him, and I tell you what, Paul Pogba was going to be there right on top of it.
A minute of the first half to play at St Mary's. Manchester United a goal behind, scored by Shea Adams on the half-hour mark. Here's Maguire, the Manchester United captain, who was partly culpable after being caught in possession inside his own area. I don't think it will be too long until Rafael Varane is installed at the heart of that defence to stiffen up Manchester United. They find clean sheets hard to come by at the moment. Here's Fred Forward to Fernandez. Fred out to Greenwood now on the right hand side. Wan-Bissaka made a run ahead of him. Greenwood forced to check back, having lost the ball under his studs momentarily. Here's Matic now inside the centre circle. And then Maguire scoops it out to Shaw on the left hand side. Again, he got ahead of Walcott, but the pass lacked pace, so he has to come back to Maguire. Southampton again well marshalled when United are in possession. They've worked really hard in this first half, the home team.
Well, they've got better and better as the game's gone on, because they was all over the place initially. They're definitely together as a team now when they're defending.
2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. 2 minutes for Manchester United to find this equaliser and maybe change the complexion of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's half-time team tour. Pogba. Oh dear, oh dear. He's passed it straight out of play for a throw. And this is why Manchester United fans get so frustrated with Paul Pogba. Unplayable at times against Leeds last week. 4 assists in a single game. First Manchester United player to manage that. He's been dreadful today.
Hasn't been good at all. That's why a lot of United fans didn't jump on a bandwagon for that game, because they know that consistency has been a major problem with Paul Pogba since he's been there. Person of his talent, he should be doing it almost week in, week out. That's when players become known as great. Consistency is one of the key elements.
Here's David De Gea inside the penalty area for Manchester United. Final minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Plays it short to Maguire. Looks up Harry Maguire and plays a long punt upfield into no one. And out for a Southampton throw. Manchester United running out of ideas as we approach the half-time whistle, seemingly.
I think if anything, Ollie, he's got to make
he's got to rectify the two selections that he made before the game, Matic and Martial for me.
Yeah,
put Greenwood back up front, bring on Sancho, and try and get McTominay out there for the second half.
Not even that. I would definitely look at something in the front area, and that is to get Sancho onto the pitch, and then just get Greenwood through the middle. That's the main bit of it for me. I don't think there's a problem in the centre of it, because the way that United have gone forward, I think the main bit is they just need something in the middle that's going to work the two centre halves.
It's perplexing, isn't it, Paul, as the half-time whistle blows, because we both raised our eyebrows when we saw that Martial was leading the line up front. We knew it wasn't right. Yeah, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer went with it anyway. Half-time at St Mary's. Usual story for Manchester United away from home. Having conceded on the half-an-hour mark, Shea Adams with a shot that deflected in off Fred's outstretched left boot. And Manchester United, if they are to maintain this impressive unbeaten run on their travels, will have to come from behind in the second half. Shaking the head from Bruno Fernandes. That just about sums it up as far as the visitors are concerned. It's Southampton 1, Manchester United 0. You're listening to Premier League Live.
From the terraces to the touchline, if you're the ultimate football fan, you need to subscribe to the Game Day podcast from Talk Sport.
Oh yes! He's done it again!
It's the twice-weekly Premier League roundup that brings you big-name guests, in-depth previews and tough-tackling analysis from the world's biggest football league.
Oh, what a finish! He's beaten the keeper to it!
Feel the might of the top flight. Subscribe now to the Game Day podcast. Available on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get bowled over with Following On, the fast-paced cricket podcast from Talk Sport that'll hit you for 6. It's a pitch-perfect delivery of first-class cricket news.
And that's a beautiful straight drive.
Boasting an impressive strike rate of exclusive big-name guests.
Oh, you little ripper!
And fielding fierce fan reaction.
Oh, that might be out.
Don't get caught out. Subscribe now to the Following On podcast. Available on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
They faced bitter prejudice.
What they had to endure was horrific.
They battled injustice.
Basically, they threw the rule book away.
But their talent was inextinguishable, and they rose to become sporting icons that etched their legacy on the history of English football.
What a strike! What a finish!
Coming in from the Cold is an exclusive 6-part documentary that chronicles the struggles and the triumphs of black footballers in the English game. Join Jessica Crichton as she uncovers the untold stories and hears firsthand from a host of superstar names, including John Barnes, Viv Anderson, Luther Blissett, Andy Cole, Rachel Yankee, John Fashanu, and many more.
These guys went through it all, and they are true inspiration.
Coming in from the Cold, the history of black footballers in the English game. Listen to the full series now, available on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Tom Rennie here to tell you about a new soccer podcast called Week in the Tackle with me and Brian Dunseth.
That's right, Tom. Well, join us for new episodes every Monday as we argue about all the top soccer stories we think are worth tackling.
Plus, we'll welcome the occasional guest to join in on the debate.
Strong opinions, big stories, no agenda.
Week in the Tackle, available on Mondays from wherever you get your podcasts.
If it's a big story in soccer, we'll tackle it.
Got an unquenchable thirst for sport? Get up to speed with the day's biggest sports stories with the Talk Sport Hit. Crammed full of the latest team news, big match previews, and discussing the day's hottest topics.
They're improving week in, week out.
Plus, get all the latest results and full fan reaction to the biggest events in world sport.
It's a wonderful goal!
Satisfy your thirst for sports news with the Talk Sport Hit. Subscribe now on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Premier League Live. Southampton leading Manchester United by 1-0 at half-time. Wolves 1-0 down at home to Tottenham, also half-time at Molineux. Coming up later, we'll have a London derby. Arsenal against Chelsea, the return of Romelu Lukaku to the Chelsea ranks. Let's hear from the two managers, Thomas Tuchel and an under-pressure Mikel Arteta.
Well, from Chelsea, I expect what they've done over the last few years. They're a top team full of world-class players with a great manager. They are the champions of Europe, and we expect a really competitive match. It's what I expect about our team. Our fans, that they're going to be supporting the team right behind them from the beginning because they've been missed so much, and we're going to go there to win the football match. I don't know if he's going to play, so I have a plan to try to stop what Chelsea do, and the plan to do what we have to do to win the game.
I actually don't know what the team will be. It's a bit like it's a difficult one to predict. For me, the situation, when I put myself into their shoes, is the situation is a bit like they can play maybe the underdog role here because of the complications they had now with the COVID situation, the difficulties they had in the first match, and to lose a first match. I think they will try to put themselves into the underdog role and fight from there in this London derby, which is fair enough, and is on us to be absolutely focused and well aware of everything that they will ask us, because there is a lot of quality in the squad. They have quality signings, they have quality players in their squad, and they can hurt anybody if you're not concentrated, if you're not aware of the danger. So in the end, it comes down to us. What do we demand of us? And there we will be very, very clear, and hopefully we can reach our top level to be able to produce a top result.
That was Mikel Arteta and Thomas Tuchel looking ahead to Arsenal against Chelsea. Paul Parker has been watching the first half of Manchester United and Southampton. Saints leading by 1-0. What do you expect from that London derby at the Emirates? Is it going to be a straightforward Chelsea victory, or can Arsenal spring a surprise?
Well, that's the thing. It definitely will be a surprise for everybody if Arsenal were to get something in certain ways. The way they've been, really, the way they've come into this season. There's been so much talk, and there's an opportunity for Arsenal to go and win this game. Then all of a sudden, the whole thing changes, and it turns maybe a little bit more towards a positive for themselves. But you look at Chelsea since Tuchel's been there, and I think the only blip that they've had really is that they didn't win the FA Cup final against Leicester. Everything else has been rosy for them. From when he first come there, they was in ninth. He took them into the Champions League. For this season, they won the Champions League. So I look at that game and I say to myself, is that Chelsea have to give the game away not to win it.
We mentioned the problems that Southampton fans had getting into the stadium. I've been sent a statement by the club at half-time. The club would like to apologise for the frustration caused by issues regarding match tickets and entry today. It's working on a full investigation into these issues. They say they'll be issuing a full refund for the game to every general admission ticket holder. So Southampton there reacting to the fact that there were lots of empty seats in the stadium at kick-off. Let's get the story of the first half, though, from St Mary's. Fernandes at his imperious best against Leeds last week. Whips it in, it's a good delivery. Lindelof didn't get there, and it's been hooked onto the crossbar and turned in, has it by Martial. Well, they're claiming it was over the line. The goal decision system says otherwise. And that Southampton goal leading a charm live. I think it was Maguire who hooked the first effort onto the crossbar, and Martial maybe should have buried the follow-up. Gineppo, who is quick, down the left-hand side. Fred will have to be on his mettle here. Dancing feet from Gineppo, finds Armstrong, curls one towards the top corner, just over the crossbar, and David De Gea screaming at his Manchester United defence for allowing Armstrong to get the shot away.
Yeah, well, it's as good as it's been for Southampton.
Gineppo into Armstrong, back heel to release Adams, might get a shot off here, Shea Adams! Southampton lead! Half an hour gone at St Mary's. A bolt from the blue for the team in blue, and it's Shea Adams who sends the home fans into raptures. Southampton 1, Manchester United 0.
Maguire goes down on his knees. I don't know why. I don't know why he's looking for a foul there either. Fernandes, it's not a foul, but he stays on the floor looking for it, doesn't recover, and actually try and win the ball back off of Jack Stevens, and he does take the deflection, but as the saying goes, Alex, if you don't shoot, you don't score.
Can United get back on turns before the break? Matic with a header. Good save, McCarthy.
Really, really good save by McCarthy, who hasn't really been worked. I think that's the first bit of work he's had to do, really, and it was a wonderful header by Matic as well.
So that strike from Shea Adams turned in by Fred. I think he's officially been accredited to the Manchester United midfielder, giving Southampton this slender 1-0 advantage. Paul Parker, the former Manchester United defender, has been watching that one with me. Last season, Paul, Manchester United recovered 15 points when losing at half-time, coming from behind to win on 5 different occasions, including here at St Mary's. Can they do it again?
Well, I think you have to believe they can do, because Southampton are going to have to work so hard to keep it. Now, if they settle just to sit back, which I think they will do, because I think that's what generally happens, is that teams try and sit back in it when they know the position they're in, especially up against a team like Manchester United. Mistakes are going to happen, and there's opportunities that are going to be there to be taken. But if they decide to maybe step on, knowing that United are going to have to throw things and maybe hit them in a way in the counter, or catch them out with a mistake, as that's the way they went in front, then there is a possibility, but they just might be able to get something from this game, this moment in time. But I would expect United, I think Ollie has to make changes at half time to really show something positive, not stick with it for 10-15 minutes and hope that they get something. I think he's going to have to make a judgment call and go and show exactly what he's looking at, and give the United fans what they want. United fans want to see Sancho in the team and want to see what he can do, because they haven't seen him. They've seen bits and bobs of him playing in for Dortmund, and they haven't seen him play well in an England shirt, so they need something positive.
Yeah, he gave Anthony Martial the nod, mainly because of his recent goal-scoring record against Southampton. Has hardly been in the game. Is that the change that you would make? Jadon Sancho on, Martial off, and Mason Greenwood put back into the number 9 position where he did so well against Leeds last week?
Yeah, that's exactly what I would do, to be perfectly honest, because he just hasn't been in the game. He's not a threat when he gets on the ball. He's not a threat off the ball. His movement off the ball is not very good. He's always coming towards the ball. He's not looking to pull off a shoulder and going behind. I really don't know what he's trying to do and what Ollie's idea is about him being through the middle, because he's never ever proven himself as a centre forward.
And from a Southampton perspective, I guess it's a case of being brave now. Is it trying to keep playing on the front foot, not sit too deep in the second half?
I think you used the word there, bravery. There's all maybe different bits of bravery, but to stay in the game is so important. But there's been a brave just to still compete in the fashion they did, the way they finished the half. But in the end, they deserve to be where they were, because they managed that half really, really well. But can they actually start the second half in the same way they finish it? Because if they start in the same way they did in the first half, they're not going to get away with it as they did in those first 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, Southampton winless in their last 10 home league games against Manchester United, despite the fact they've taken a lead in 6. Can they hold on this time? We'll find out very shortly. Southampton 1, Manchester United 0. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Got an unquenchable thirst for sport? Get up to speed with the day's biggest sports stories with the Talk Sport Hit. Crammed full of the latest team news, big match previews, and discussing the day's hottest topics.
An improvement week in, week out.
Plus, get all the latest results and full fan reaction to the biggest events in world sport.
It's a wonderful goal!
Satisfy your thirst for sports news with the Talk Sport Hit. Subscribe now on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Talk Sport. 20 years old and still not able to make a cup of tea.
That's a great starting point, I think. Excuse me.
With bitter experience comes great responsibility.
Let's go to Cumbria and Fraser. Fraser, good morning. Hello. Fraser, get out of that league.
The nation's first and best commercial sports radio station.
Live, lubricated and legendary.
20 years of Talk Sport.
Previously on White and Jordan.
This is rewarding mediocrity. No, it's not. It's the exact opposite.
Two towering giants of sports media.
He's got COVID-19. He's got Newcastle wanting to sue him. He's got broadcasters pulling money out of deals left, right and centre. You wouldn't want to fly with this guy, would you?
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Double trouble, daily drama and searing debate.
Continues weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
20 years of Talk Sport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, titanium plasmatronic death droids from the future, 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
and extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of Talk Sport.
Previously on White and Jordan.
If you haven't bought, owned, managed, sold a player, managed a football club, sat in a boardroom, sat in a dressing room, what exactly do you know?
100% engagement.
The Football League is a league which is a busted flush. You're obsessed with that subject. You didn't know that.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. High Octane Radio. Continues weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
The Women's Football Weekly Podcast.
With Faye Carruthers. All the action, excitement and drama from across the entire women's game.
Cleared off the line by Steph Horton.
Including the Women's Super League.
Ellen White is there to tap it in.
The UEFA Women's Champions League.
Lana Cleland striking from outside the penalty area.
And the Euro 2021 qualifiers.
From the edge of the area to Emsley. And Emsley's going to finish it off.
Plus, all the home nations' international friendlies.
Lucy Bronze with the strike from the edge of the penalty area.
World-beating big match conversation.
There's Jodie Taylor.
Subscribe now to the Women's Football Weekly Podcast on Acast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Southampton against Manchester United from St Mary's Stadium. I'm your host, Alex Crook. Alongside me is the former Manchester United defender, Paul Parker. This is Premier League Live. We are back off and underway on the south coast. Southampton leading by a goal to nil. And despite that, no sign of any changes from Manchester United for the second half. United in their blue shirts, yellow shorts and black socks, shooting from right to left. Southampton in the red and white striped jerseys, black shorts and white socks, attacking the goal away to our right. The only change that has been made is a Southampton one. Theo Walcott replaced by Jan Bednarek. Can only assume that Walcott has picked up an injury. I'd imagine that Livramento now will play further forward with Bednarek coming into the centre of defence and Jack Stevens shifting across to right back, Paul.
Yeah, Bednarek coming in, I think it's more about the dead ball situations. They need someone who's there to attack the ball. They didn't have that at all. Vestergaard is a big miss, but Bednarek not being on there as well. They didn't have anyone who's good enough, strong enough, or maybe just positive who wants to win the ball, and he will do that. Theo Walcott wasn't in the game. He was again playing that role as a passenger, to be perfectly honest. Just wasn't in it.
Well, they've got an early corner to defend here. Paul Pogba just hobbling as he makes his way up to try and attack it. Worrying for Manchester United. It's going to be taken by Greenwood from the right hand side. Lindelof gets up, headed away by Pirou. And then Fred just taps it back into the centre circle and Wan-Bissaka. And David De Gea all in green away to our right hand side, making his 443rd Manchester United appearance this afternoon, the most of any overseas player in the club's history. Here's Martial down by the left corner flag. taking on Stevens, playing it to Shaw just on the left corner of the penalty area. Fernandez, fake to shoot and then chips it into the area. Wan-Bissaka back to Pogba, who volleys it goalwards. It's turned behind for a corner. Paul Pogba screaming for a penalty, but it was from point blank range if it did strike an arm.
He wasn't even looking at the ball, and his arm wasn't maybe in anywhere precarious or anything.
We're going to watch a replay now.
No.
It was Salisu, both arms behind his back. I'm not even convinced it struck his arm.
No, it didn't strike his arm at all. And the way, honestly, the way Fernandez goes at the referee, he's got to be careful. He's already been booked for dissent.
A couple of chances for Paul Pogba with volleys. Greenwood with a corner. It's bouncing around in the penalty area and it's swept away by Peru. Another chance for Manchester United. Starting the second half on the front foot, as you would expect for the team trailing by a 1-0 here on Premier League Live. Matic in the left wing position. Who's that pass to?
Oh! Do you know what? I'm looking for it. I thought someone's run there, but the way the Southampton players were reacting, I thought, that's not right.
I think he was trying to pick out the cameraman all in black, just to the side of the pitch. 1-0 Southampton lead. We play 4 minutes in the second half. Team news in around about 25 minutes from the game between Arsenal and Chelsea. Phil Blacker and Kev Watson calling the action from the Emirates. It'll be fascinating to see how the Arsenal fans react to Mikel Arteta and one or two of the new signings who've already been dismissed on social media. Chelsea looking to make it maximum points, as Manchester United were hoping to do here on the south coast, but they trail 1-0. Maguire, the captain, clearing upfield under pressure from Armstrong. Gineppo hooks it forward, headed clear by Maguire, and then Ward-Prowse nods it down into Gineppo. Cross comes Wan-Bissaka, and Southampton have a throw which they've taken quickly. Pirot did well there. Armstrong stabs it goalwards. I think he was looking for Adams in the centre. It carries all the way through to De Gea, and he bowls it out quickly to Nemanja Matic. Bit more urgency now about Manchester United. Here's Fred, plays it out to the right hand side, and Wan-Bissaka. 5 minutes gone already in the second half. No change in the scoreline. Here's Matic, just on the edge of the centre circle. He plays it back to Harry Maguire. Now Pogba inside Southampton territory. Forward to Martial, his fellow countryman. Livramento on this right hand side is really impressed so far. Chip forward by United, headed away with ease by Stevens. Fernandez tries to bring it down and just guides it towards Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's been beaten for pace there by Gineppo, slides across and just about manages to stretch out one of those telescopic legs and out for a throw.
Gineppo just about to open up his stride. He looked like he was going to go away from Wan-Bissaka, but as you just mentioned, his recovery is incredible.
The best tackle is in the Premier League, Wan-Bissaka. It's the other side of his game, the attacking side, that maybe needs a bit of work. That's why Manchester United are still very much on the heels of Kieran Trippier, trying to bring him back from Atletico Madrid to English shores. Matic forward to Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes playing it out to the right touchline, but all very tight. And Southampton have it back now with Stevens just inside his own half. Now Livramento, rangy 18-year-old, very versatile down this right hand side, playing as a right winger now in the second half. Walcott having gone off presumably injured. De Gea out to Fred, who's in danger of being caught under the ball there. He's actually done really well to shrug off not just Gineppo but Romeo as well, and that will be a yellow card I think for Moussa Gineppo, holding on to Fred. First Southampton booking of the afternoon.
The thing I liked about there with Fred is that he kept trying. He just embarrassed him in the end, Gineppo. He just said, "You're holding on to me," and he was just running with him, hanging on to him, which was great what he done. But Gineppo, that was ridiculous, needless.
United free kick taken short on the halfway line. Here is Victor Lindelof, preferred again today to Rafael Varane. I wonder how long that will continue for. Gineppo plays it down the line. Here's Pirot, looking to get across into the centre, headed clear, only half away by Matic. Shea Adams being urged to shoot again from the edge of the area. Livramento might high over the crossbar.
It's a shame the young boy, the ball was laid back for him, but he never looked confident as he was stepping up, to be perfectly honest. Never really struck for it true like someone going for goal. I think he just saw himself in positions telling himself, "Oh, I've got to shoot," but no, he wasn't set. He was very tense. His shoulders were virtually uptight, he wasn't relaxed at all.
Gineppo down, receiving treatment, so a momentary stop in play. He's going to take a drink of water as well. Moves to Gineppo. Got a new squad number this season, number 19 as opposed to number 12 that he wore last term. Southampton looking to win their opening home game of this Premier League season. They've only managed that 3 times in the last 30 years, would you believe? Manchester United in danger of defeat on their travels for the first time in 27 matches on the road. Still plenty of time to play though. Gineppo has left the pitch and is receiving treatment. So Southampton down to 10. I think he will come back on imminently though. Here's Luke Shaw down the Manchester United left. 53 gone, 1-0 Southampton lead. How long would he leave it, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, before making the change?
I think the maximum he can go, in my opinion, is 15 minutes. Like,
so the hour mark.
Yeah, he can't go any more than that. But it needs something. It needs something to spark for him to believe that what he's got on can do it. At this moment, we haven't had that. We had a little melee in the box. Other than that, really, there hasn't been enough. When we've seen it before last season, they were virtually getting on the ball and they were looking like they was always going to create. Not at the moment.
Harry Maguire closed down by Armstrong, so plays it back to De Gea inside the 6-yard box. Adams will quickly pressure the Manchester United goalkeeper. He finds Wan-Bissaka in the right back position. Here's Fred forward to Matic. Then Matic to Bruno Fernandes. Wan-Bissaka's made a good run to the right, but Southampton have got plenty of red and white shirts back between United and the goal. Wan-Bissaka into Fernandes. Good ball into the area behind everyone in blue. A bit of confusion as to who was actually going to get on the end of it. Here's Pogba now inside the box still. Finds Fernandes, back to Pogba. Chance for Mason Greenwood. And Manchester United equalise. Mason Greenwood with his second goal of the season. And they are back on level terms. 10 minutes into the second half. Greenwood with a sweeping finish from just inside the penalty area. It is Southampton 1. Manchester United 1.
Now this is where the Southampton fans get really, really worried. United hadn't really been a threat. They hadn't really done enough to warrant getting back into the game. But they've just sat back. They haven't defended properly at all. And then when they do score, it just goes through the legs or deflected around, I think. Around in McCarthy. I'm not exactly sure how it goes, but there was definitely a deflection from somewhere. Yeah, and it comes through the legs of McCarthy, through the legs of Salisi as well.
It's another assist for Paul Pogba, sliding to poke it back to Greenwood.
It's going the wrong way, McCarthy. That's the thing. The ball changed direction on him.
Well, is history to be repeated at St Mary's? Southampton in front at half-time, as they were last season. Manchester United back on terms within 10 minutes of the second half. And it's their fans now whose voices are filling the South Coast air. Mason Greenwood, who wants to play as the number 9. 2 in 2 games for him. 8 now in his last 10 Premier League games. Already the highest scoring Premier League teenager in Manchester United's history. It's that kind of predatory finish maybe that Martial is lacking, Paul.
Well, he's instinctive, he shoots, and he always uses a short backlift as well.
Here is Martial though. United suddenly looking for a second. Stevens comes across, concedes the corner. Southampton under pressure early in the second half. 1-1.
They just need to get their composure back again, Manchester United. They just get Southampton, stop chasing it and leaving big holes in behind. Martial found his best bit of space he's had since this game started, but he never used it wisely, but he's earned the corner.
The £73 million man is about to come on. Jadon Sancho stripped and ready, just getting his final instructions for Manchester United. Here's Luke Shaw with a corner, outswinger, headed away by Bednarek. Greenwood will pick it up just on the edge of the centre circle. 1-1 here. 1-0 Tottenham lead against Wolves at Molineux.
I just wonder if that goal from Mason Greenwood has prompted Ollie to turn around and say, yep, he can do that bit in the middle now. I just need to bring someone on wide, and that's Sancho.
Here's Shaw into Martial though. Showed too much of it to Jan Bednarek, and then he was grabbing the arm of the Southampton centre back. Free kick for the home side. It'd be fascinating to hear from Ralph Hasenhüttl after the game whether that was an injury-enforced change taking off Theo Walcott or a tactical one.
I think it's more tactical. Theo Walcott looked all right to me.
Jadon Sancho is coming on. Well, he will do next time the ball is dead, I think. Just delaying it, Manchester United. McCarthy lofts the ball forward towards the away penalty area. Headed clear by Maguire. Now Gineppo into Oriol Romeu. Matic wins it back. Only momentarily, because Ward-Prowse has managed to find Livramento, this talented teenager, down the right-hand side for Southampton. Away from Pogba and from Shaw. Crosses deep toward the far post, but it spins behind harmlessly for a goal kick. I like the look of him, Paul. 18 years of age, Academy Player of the Year last season for Chelsea. You can see why Chelsea have insisted on a £40 million buyback.
Yeah, he's done really well there. And the second time, Luke Shaw generally has been quite good defensively, but Luke Shaw couldn't get near him there. It's just his execution at the end that cost him.
Well, here comes the change, the one that we've been crying out for almost since before a ball was kicked. Jadon Sancho on, Anthony Martial off, so Mason Greenwood will go and play as the number 9. Sancho on the right-hand side, that 3 in behind alongside Fernandes and Pogba. Jadon Sancho scored 4 goals in his last 4 games for Borussia Dortmund before making that return to the northwest, having started his career at Manchester City as a youngster. Here's Fernandes. Forward to Greenwood on the edge of the area. Leaves it for Pogba. I think he contemplated the shot for a moment. Pogba might get a shot away. On his left foot, Pogba steers it wide. Slaps the floor in frustration. Maybe knows he should have hit the target.
He should have done at least, but in theory they haven't really got anyone out wide on that left hand side, because Pogba steps in, and what virtually happens is Luke Shaw's having to do that work to fill that berth, but Pogba stepping in gives you someone with his quick feet, and he's just the way he can shift the ball from one foot to the other. He can make opportunities, he can take opportunities, and there was one for him to go and get, and he didn't actually take it when he should have done.
Hour gone. This game fascinatingly poised at St Mary's. Southampton 1, Manchester United 1. Here's Nemanja Matic turning inside his own half, finding Sancho. Pokes it back to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Manchester United dominating the ball, having got that equaliser courtesy of Mason Greenwood. Now here's Luke Shaw. I think whatever happens now, Paul, Ralph Hasenhüttl will take some positives from what he's seen from this relatively inexperienced Southampton side.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, the way they've gone about it. But as we know, these are the kind of games they get built up for, playing Manchester United. It's those other games when he wants them to be in the same frame of mind, the ones where they believe there's 3 points available for him, 100% for them to go and take. That's the ones that he needs them to kind of still to show this kind of commitment still.
Well, they're certainly going to get plenty of chances to test themselves against the elite in these early weeks of the season. They face 3 of last season's top 6 in their next 4 matches. Southampton, as Shea Adams, their goal scorer, is down receiving treatment. And we can watch a replay of the equaliser from Mason Greenwood, well held up by Fernandes. Clever little poke through from Pogba, and the shot through the legs of Salisu, and that wrong-footed McCarthy, although I'm not sure he covered himself in glory, the Southampton goalkeeper.
No, he didn't in the end. I turned around and said about him going the wrong way. He didn't cover himself in any glory at all. We had to do, if he stays on his feet, he picks it up.
They've had an issue with goalkeepers, Southampton. They had Angus Gunn there, they've got Fraser Forster, the former England international, and McCarthy. None of the 3 are particularly good, which is an issue. McCarthy was partially to blame for Dominic Calvert-Lewin's goal in the opening weekend, and there was a clamour that Forster might start this game. No clean sheets in 16 now for Alex McCarthy. 62 gone. Saints 1, Manchester United 1 at St Mary's. Ollie is at the wheel is the cry of the Manchester United fans. They hit the skids in the first half, but seem to be back on track now. Although 1 point would not be a satisfactory return. They want all 3 in this final half an hour. Mistake by Livramento. Rare error, giving it away to Shaw, who found Pogba, but Livramento atoning for the mistake and winning it back. Ward-Prowse plays it back to Stevens. His clearance charged down by Fernandes, out for a Southampton throw well inside their own half.
Yeah, they're just struggling now for an outlet. now, to be honest, really, Southampton. They've got nothing really up there. The ball isn't sticking up front. And more than anything, in the back of their minds, when they go forward, they're looking, saying, can we go and score another goal? Have we got anybody who can go and maybe get us that second goal? We've done well and had a bit of luck to get the first one. Have we got enough to go and get ourselves back in front again?
You feel the only way they will score against Southampton is a moment of magic or a Manchester United mistake.
It seems that way. That's what gave them the opportunity to get the first goal, was a mistake.
Wonderful atmosphere inside St Mary's, and we'll probably never tire of saying it this season, but it's fantastic, isn't it, to have fans back after that sanitised football that we saw for the last 18 months. Here's Armstrong in the area. Shea Adams, who is back at full kilter, having picked up a knock, tries to turn inside the box. Offside flag was up anyway. Free kick for Manchester United. Now Maguire is holding his arm. I think he'll be okay, the United skipper. Fernandes dropping very deep, trying to play that Hollywood ball to Pogba, but overhit all the way through for McCarthy in goal. Still 2 more live games to bring you this weekend. Arsenal against Chelsea at 4:30 this afternoon UK time, followed by West Ham Leicester. That should be an appetising game full of scoring opportunities tomorrow night. 8 PM kickoff from London Stadium. Oh, great ball by Luke Shaw into Sancho. He's onside, Sancho in the area, just slightly behind him. Fred with a cross, Greenwood with a header onto the roof of the net. Could have been 2-1.
Should have been 2-1, to be honest. It was just too much weight on that pass, really, in the end to Sancho. Just a little bit too much on it. But it was a wonderful first run, that was.
Was he just offside, Sancho?
I think he might have been in the end. If it had gone all the way through, and if he had a strike and scored, then I think it would have been given offside.
But again, Mason Greenwood, unlike Martial, is getting himself into positions where a number 9 needs to be, on the end of crosses.
No, I just think he's been around. I think he's one of those lads. I think he's absorbed what the way Cavani's played. He's just looking about moving around, and he just it's about finding space and just be available and just anticipating, and maybe just being proactive in movement rather than actually waiting for the pass. Actually make the pass happen by making a movement into space. And that's what he does. Martial doesn't do that.
There's an air of authority now about Manchester United's play. Sancho into Wan-Bissaka, cuts back the cross. Fernandes' header, saved by the goalkeeper. Pogba tries to turn in the follow-up. It's behind, and it will be a corner. That Southampton goal suddenly is living a charmed life.
It certainly is, and again, they're getting stronger and stronger now, United, and it's that movement. Wan-Bissaka's movement, a header by Fernandes was
Pogba being held by Bednarek? Is that why he couldn't get onto the rebound? Do Manchester United have a case for a penalty here, Paul? It's impossible to see from that angle.
No, he hasn't. No, he's reacted after Pogba. There was something there. No, he was too far away.
I think it's a corner, isn't it, for United, or has it gone for a goal kick?
I don't think it went out, the ball.
And Fernandes again is imploring Craig Pawson over something. Incidentally, United haven't won any of the last 3 games that Craig Pawson has officiated involving them. They're looking to try and come from behind to win this one. Armstrong putting Maguire under pressure. It was a bit cumbersome by the Manchester United captain, but manages to smuggle it clear, and here they are on the counter. Fernandes, 4-on-4. Fernandes has got Pogba in the centre, held onto it for too long maybe.
Yeah, far too long.
And Salisu slides in and dispossesses Greenwood. Good game now.
They don't want the game to be too open, Southampton, because otherwise they're going to get run ragged. Can't make the areas too big.
Oriol Romeu snapping away to win it back for Southampton, but sliding in Fernandes. Good play by him, tenaciously winning it back. Pogba forward to Sancho on the left-hand side now in the yellow boots. Jadon Sancho being booed by the Southampton fans. Grow up. Here's Greenwood into Fernandes. Fernandes with a cross, looking for Pogba. Salisu heads it away. Volley clear by Livramento. I don't remember Stuart Pearce and Gareth Southgate being booed back in the day for missing penalties.
There was no social media then, was there?
Matic has lost possession there to Romeu, sliding in. Tell you what, he's let a lot go, Craig Pawson.
Well, I think they are now, the referees. They're being told to they've been told to do this when common sense said for them, well, I mean, that's not a foul. You know, it's a man's game, there's going to be contact, but generally that kind of contact shouldn't make you fall over. But they were still given the fouls. So now they've been told what to do, and they've been led by Mike Riley. And to be perfectly honest, Mike Riley's made the right decision, but it should have been done ages ago, because as a spectator sport, it was being lost football.
Here's Wan-Bissaka down the right-hand side, crossing into the area. Fernandez heads it along the 6-yard line. Pogba trying to bring it under control. Might come for Fernandez again. Southampton defending doggedly. In the end, it's stabbed away by Romeu. But they're having to work overtime here, Southampton, to keep this 1-1 scoreline intact. Wan-Bissaka into Fred.
They're going to struggle really like this if they're going to defend like this. Someone's just going to get mentally tired, and there's going to be a mistake, and that's where things will happen.
Here's Maguire now forward for Manchester United. Plays it out to the right, and Wan-Bissaka down the line to Fernandez, who timed his run to make sure he stayed onside. Then he was fouled by Gineppo. Free kick in a dangerous area here, just down by the right corner flag, and a chance to load up the Saints penalty area again.
It'll just be interesting to see this one, to see if there really was contact here. Gineppo doesn't believe there was any contact on, and he's right as well. There was no contact with Fernandez at all. None at all. And the assistant referee is right there to see it, and he's gone with the fall over.
It's one of those players, isn't he, Bruno Fernandes, who knows how to go down.
And he knows when it's the other way, exactly something what's against him. Let's put it this way, go straight to it. He's very hypocritical.
Don't mince your words, Paul, on a Sunday afternoon. Spurs still a goal to the good against Wolves at Molineux. Bruno Fernandes stands over the free kick. He's going to play it into the penalty area. Headed away by Romeu. McCarthy was all at sea there, and then it's lashed wide by Mason Greenwood on the follow-up. His first instinct every time he gets near the goal is to let one fly. Mason Greenwood, that exuberance of youth from Manchester United's number 11, wearing that iconic jersey. Southampton are going to bring on Ibrahima Diallo just to try and shore it up in midfield. Moussa Gineppo will make way.
They need to do something. They need a steady and rocking there at this moment in time. They're being overrun. There's too many big gaps. Midfield players are running beyond the Southampton's midfield players. The back four can't last. The two centre halves are going to be pulled apart ragged unless they get that sorted out.
Very defensive lineup now from Ralph Hasenhüttl, trying to hold on to what he has. The only manager to lose 9-0 twice in Premier League history. Won't want reminding of that. He was quite dismissive actually when he was asked, what do you remember of the 9-0 at Old Trafford last season, in his press conference on Thursday. Theo Walcott looking rather glum, back in his civvies now, sat just behind the dugout, having been pulled off at half time. As Fred nods it forward towards the halfway line, and Greenwood well held up by Pogba. Looked much more at it in the second half, Paul Pogba. Here's Livramento for Southampton.
I just think Ollie's got to find a role for him. He's putting him in a wide area, and they're losing that little bit out wide. No, they can't really make the pitch big on his left-hand side because he wants to come in. He's doing great there, but somehow he needs to find him a role to play in the middle, so then you can get someone who can really play this wide left side better.
I think they'll end up playing a 4-3-3 with only one holding midfielder.
That's what they need to do, to be perfectly honest.
I think they'll do that once Rafael Varane is up to speed and ready to go into the team. The reason that they play with two holders at the moment, I think, is because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't trust his back four. I think he'll have more trust in that back four with Varane at the heart of it. 71 gone. Southampton 1, Manchester United 1 at St Mary's. As it stands, United will equal this top flight unbeaten away record set by Arsenal, 27 matches. Some 17 years ago, but they'll want more. They want all 3 points to keep up their 100% start to the league season. I think Southampton would take 1-1 now, Paul, don't you?
Oh, without a doubt. They would have done before the game. They want something, because it's going to be a tough season for them unless they go and make a few good signings before the end of the month. They've got big problems ahead, Southampton.
They're bringing in a Brazilian defender from Torino called Lianco. He was due to fly in and undergo medical today. They say that will be their last business of the transfer window, but I think they might try and get one more. Still got 2 domestic loans available, so they can take 2 out of favour players maybe from other Premier League clubs. Just need that bit of Premier League guile, that bit of experience. Manchester United, by the way, have had 14 shots to Southampton's 5, 4 on target. Just the 1 on target for Southampton. That doesn't include the goal they scored because it has gone down as a Fred own goal. Here's Livramento. Momentarily, Manchester United all back inside their own half. Bit of a lull around St Mary's as Pirot brings it forward. It's not really dealt with by Matic. Here's Diallo. Blocked by Fred. Bednarek forward again to Diallo. Now Oriol Romeu, the former Chelsea man, turning away from Matic and finding Salisu. Ball pass from him out to the left hand side now for a throw. Scott McTominay coming on for the final 17 minutes. Probably a straight swap for Nemanja Matic, you think, Paul?
Yeah, it might be, but I thought Matic has done a really, really good job in there, to be perfectly honest. I think if anything you would take off Fred, because the game is not really suiting him at this moment in time.
Also more of an aerial threat. Oh, Maguire's been robbed by Ward-Prowse, and here's Armstrong one-on-one. Brilliant save by David De Gea, and Harry Maguire, the most relieved man in Hampshire.
Absolutely. Again, he's very cumbersome. He thinks he's got more time at the end. They become a bread and butter centre half at the moment. Just defend and let the other players, those front 6 you got, go and score you that winning goal.
Should have scored. Armstrong.
He should have scored in the end. I think that was. I'm going to put that down as a poor finish in the end. De Gea's done great. We can't take that away from him. He's made a save, but it's very close to him.
Ralph Hasenhüttl, who's jettisoned the waistcoat, by the way, for the second half. Can hardly believe it. First corner of this second 45 for Southampton, but just a warning sign to Manchester United that they are still a threat. Swept clear at the near post by Fernandes. Fred in danger of being caught inside his own penalty area. In the end, concedes a corner.
What's this habit now? Just clear your lines. What's wrong with it? Has it become the ugly side of football that you can't just knock the ball 80 yards down the pitch, or maybe just kick it into a stand? I really don't understand what's going on here with football.
Team sheets are in from the Emirates. Romelu Lukaku does start for Chelsea. No Timo Werner in the starting lineup. Lukaku up front for the European champions. Nicola Pepe as a false number 9 for Arsenal. Bernd Leno keeping his place in goal. It's a home debut for Sambi Lokonga in midfield. Martin Ødegaard not in the squad. Aaron Ramsdale is on the bench. So too Aubameyang. Corner for Southampton. Ward-Prowse towards the near post, right across the face of goal from Adams. Southampton inches away from taking the lead for a second time. Here's Diallo. Suddenly Manchester United under the cosh as the sun comes out again at St Mary's. That was a chance, Paul.
That was
another one.
Massive chance that was as well. Just didn't get enough on the ball, to be perfectly honest. 2 opportunities made there, just as United were going to bring on McTominay. But what I wanted to say about that was they're bringing on another defensive kind of midfield player when they need a goal.
Yeah, good point. When you've got the likes of Jesse Lingard on the bench, Daniel James, who's pace you feel could stretch a tie, Southampton, Van der Beek as well.
Van der Beek, he's got energy to go both ways, can do both quite well. Should have done better there, really. I think Adam Armstrong, again, he had another opportunity for him to score the goal.
McTominay on for Fred. On the subject of substitutes, Harry Kane has just come on for Tottenham at Molineux. They lead Wolves by 1-0 Spurs. Tell you what, we've been talking about United's yellow shorts. Used to see Tottenham's kit this afternoon, Paul. Looks like someone's got loose with the spray paint. Hideous. As Che Adams is sent tumbling by Maguire, and that's going to be a yellow card.
Yeah, he hasn't been a steadying rock. Maguire, he's been their biggest problem defensively, to be perfectly honest. He's been cumbersome. It just looks like he just can't move his feet quick enough to defend him one against one.
They out there as soon as possible.
Yeah, they need someone to control him. He just can't defend. Just usher him away, and he puts his arms and bodies across. There's no need for him to do that. He nearly gave the another goal away by being caught in possession.
That's a free kick here for Southampton. James Ward-Prowse territory. He would normally at least work the goalkeeper from here, Ward-Prowse. So Harry Maguire may not yet have been fully penalised for that clumsy challenge on the edge of the box. 77 minutes gone, 1-1 at St Mary's. David De Gea knows what's coming here. Can he keep it out? The United goalkeeper who just denied Armstrong a second goal for the Saints a few moments ago.
It's just amazing how this has switched. And I thought when they scored United, I thought, here it comes. And it hasn't gone that way at all. Southampton have got themselves through it again like they did in the first half. That initial poor start, and they got better and better, and they got better collectively as a team.
Well, he scored, James Ward-Prowse, 10 goals direct from free kicks in the Premier League. He's going to strike this one with that trademark right foot. And just complaining, Southampton, that Manchester United has strayed over the white line.
It's a bit finicky, but you've got to grab everything, haven't you? Oh.
Matic just shoving Bednarek away.
Oh,
I think they scrubbed out the white line, I think.
Yep.
I've seen that before.
Yeah, but they've nicked an extra bit because it wasn't there. It was a little bit further back. That makes it a little bit more difficult for Prowse, but he's moved the ball further back.
Just bounced it down a couple of times, much like Rafa Nadal serving at match point in the Wimbledon Championship. James Ward-Prowse used to model himself on David Beckham. Right-footed, punched away by De Gea. I think he could have caught it. Pogba knocks it away from Ward-Prowse, and maybe Manchester United can counter here. Paul Pogba over the halfway line and tripped by Salisu. I think he'll be fortunate to escape a yellow card.
Yeah, I didn't really see how it did. Was there any intent on what he's trying to do? But this one, the free kick, I mean, De Gea's just didn't want to gamble on it. He's just punched it down and away. Seemed to have got away a bit. Punching it down is a dangerous one, but maybe didn't fancy the idea of trying to catch it.
11 minutes remaining. These two still locked at 1-1. As Carl Walker-Peters is going to come on to replace the French left back Romain Perraud. Fresh legs for Ralph Hasenhüttl, anticipating a late rally from Manchester United. Matic taking the free kick short to Maguire.
Oh.
Again, a nervous pass from Maguire into Lindelof.
It was, he killed the momentum of them going forward. He passed it in behind him.
Wan-Bissaka plays it against Walker-Peters, who has gone in at left back, and it will be a throw-in for Manchester United. I wonder why he got rid of the waistcoat, Ralph Hasenhüttl.
I'm going to turn around and just state the obvious, that maybe he got a bit warm.
Good shout.
Or maybe he got a phone call and told it's not looking good. Snooker's on the other channel.
Here's Maguire stretching those long legs, coming into the Southampton half, playing it to Luke Shaw in the left wing position. Now Matic forward to Pogba, gets it back. Matic plays it against Romeo, and he's quite fortunate the rebound falls kindly for Shaw. Didn't really know where to go there, Nemanja Matic. Shaw out to Sancho, holding off Livramento, but been well marshalled, Southampton. Certainly since taking a 1-0 lead. It's been a good defensive performance.
I have to say that he hasn't really got in the game yet, Sancho, is he?
Again, Matic just giving it away. Again, it was a heavy pass out from the back, and here's Ward-Prowse down the right-hand side. Matic just looking a bit leggy as he blocks the cross, and De Gea can't save the corner. There is going to be a winner at the moment. Southampton look the more likely.
Yeah, again, I have to say, Ollie, I think if I'm... As a man, if you're a Manchester United fan, you look at that substitution, and that doesn't suggest that you want to go out and win the game. It just doesn't say it by bringing on McTominay.
A bit nervous, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a bit apprehensive as Ward-Prowse places the ball down in the apex. 6th Southampton corner to 7 from United. 1-1 is the scoreline. Again, we know this will be on the money from James Ward-Prowse. Bednarek trying to attack it, so too Salisu. Stevens forward from the back as well. Good header away by Maguire. Sancho couldn't control it on the chest, and Romeo hooks it out of play for a Manchester United throw on this near side. 8 minutes to get a winner.
I have to say, if it's finished as it is, I have to say that Southampton deserve it, really, the way they've dug in, because I expected them to capitulate when they conceded that one.
Having said that, United have gone backwards in terms of just slowing the game down again, haven't they?
United's strength is when they play at a tempo, and they haven't done that, to be perfectly honest. Haven't done it from the moment they got that first goal. generally you'd expect them to be going at them, just getting the ball forward as quick as possible. They just haven't done that. Oh!
Badly given away by Diallo, though.
Terrible.
Into the gas from Paul Parker. Shaw raking ball forward. Well watched by Walker Peters, because Sancho was trying to get in behind there had it reached its intended target. Here's Armstrong running at Victor Lindelof. Lindelof stands tall, and then Matic slides in. I think he got something on the ball, so did the referee. Again allowing the game to flow. Here's Stevens, just over the halfway line for Southampton. Rolls it into Livramento down the right. Livramento away from Pogba.
Needs help.
Certainly got a lot of confidence, the young man. He's away from Shaw as well. Luke Shaw with a really good slide tackle to win it back, and then Matic caught in possession on the edge of the box. How many times have we said that about Manchester United today?
They've been cumbersome. They've been just like going through the motions. There's no zest when they get on it. Think I'm in my defending third. I've got to do something sharp here. Be positive, but be sharp.
Southampton controlling the tempo of the game. A really mature performance from them. Salisu out to the left hand side, and the substitute Walker Peters. Here he is again, Walker Peters, down that left hand side, finding Ward-Prowse. Diallo forward for Romeu. Got a bit of a bloody nose there. Romeu so high up the pitch and gave it away tamely. Here's Paul Pogba for Manchester United, as the United player down inside the centre circle. I think it's Fernandes.
Look, he's looking for something from it. He moans at the ref.
He needs to get forward here, because United are on the attack. Sancho releasing Greenwood down the right. Walker Peters out for a throw. No doubt Fernandes now will be surrounding Craig Pawson, the referee.
I don't know what he's looking for, but he goes on the floor, and he looks up. I really don't understand it sometimes. His team needs a goal.
Jesse Lingard is going to come on for his first Manchester United appearance since the final day of the season before last. Looked like his Old Trafford career was over.
I wonder what Van der Beek thinks about that.
Great ball by McTominay right across the 6-yard box. Nobody in blue there to tap it in. What a ball, Paul.
It was, but the problem is he knew that everyone was on that side of the field. There's only so much. He's got to get his head up and have a look. That's what he needs to do, and that's what Fernandes is saying to him. Just need to lift his head. He just got a rush of blood and thought, I'll just put this in there. It wasn't going to happen. He wasn't going to get anybody there. Your centre forward was out there as well. He was on that side, Fernandes, so he's got to think himself, who's in there?
85 gone. Southampton 1, Manchester United 1 at St Mary's. Southampton in front at half time. Fred with the own goal on the half an hour, deflecting in the shot from Shea Adams. United back on level terms within 10 minutes of the restart. Mason Greenwood beating Alex McCarthy. That's got to be a foul by McTominay, wrestling Romeu to the ground inside the centre circle. It looks like time might be running out for United, Paul, your former club.
Yes, exactly right. They're doing a really, really good job, Southampton, in the end, and at the moment he's pleased, the manager really pleased how they've dealt with it, because he would have thought the worst himself as well when they come back. There's no reason why he wouldn't be feeling that way. He's had 2 bad results against them in his career already in the UK, so to see United get a goal after 10 minutes, he's thinking the worst. But he should be proud of them at this moment in time. He'll be even proud if the game stays as it is.
Well, this is an attacking change from Manchester United. Jesse Lingard has come on for Nemanja Matic for his 150th Premier League appearance.
Well, that substitution could have been done a lot earlier, couldn't it, really?
When United had momentum.
Exactly right.
Walker Peters forward, and you can't switch momentum on and off like a tap, can you?
No.
Armstrong winning a corner.
Absolutely ridiculous that was by Lingard. He made his mind up. He was good. Lindelof. Too many LINs on the pitch. But he should have got to be stronger. He didn't get his body across. Just get in front of him and have a little bit of a wrestle. Adam Armstrong, far too easy an opportunity just to play the ball off of him.
James Ward-Prowse with the corner from the Southampton left-hand side. If they could get a goal now, surely it would be the winner. 3 minutes plus stoppage time to play here on Premier League Live. Very congested 6-yard box. Ward-Prowse whips it in, and De Gea, not confident, managed to get enough of a punch to clear it away through a throw on this near side.
The one thing about it wasn't a good punch, but what he did have, he got height on the ball. If it wasn't height, then there might have been a problem, but there was height on it. And that's one of the most important things when you're making clearances, just to make sure you get any kind of thing you do, you get height, which is sometimes more important. At least gives time for people to actually adjust themselves and defend again.
Livramento with a throw. Armstrong forced to the right corner flag by Pogba, and his cross is blocked. Then Luke Shaw's been fouled by Adams.
He's been suckered into a foul.
Southampton lost 19 games last season out there, 38. Only the 3 relegated sides suffered more defeats, but only 1 defeat in their last 5 home games here at St Mary's in the top division. They are 3 minutes away from a well-earned point. And again, maybe this result, this performance from Manchester United might just check some of those expectations after that 5-1 win against Leeds last time out.
But it was always going to be difficult, this game, for Manchester United because of what they'd done in the first game.
I think many people expected something similar given the upheaval at St Mary's, but it's been a performance full of character from the home team. Here's Maguire though, still time for a late winner as he finds Shaw down the left. Only Sancho in the centre, pokes it out to Lingard. First real impact since coming on, finds Shaw. Here's Mason Greenwood, who might just fancy a shot here from the edge of the area. Plays it in instead to Sancho. Sancho leaves one defender on his backside. Cross loops up and plucked from the sky by McCarthy.
Well, I'll tell you what, I had a little bit of a worry there when Sancho, for Southampton, steps inside, and I think it's Jack Stevens, he seemed to, for a moment, think about putting his arm out to take the ball away from from Sancho. But lucky enough, he didn't put his arm out.
90 seconds of the 90 minutes remain. Long punt upfield by Southampton. Volley clear by Wan-Bissaka. Salisu heads it down under no real pressure. And then Walker-Peters is closed down by Sancho, and they're trying to play their way out here. Southampton, they've done it pretty well. Walker-Peters back to Salisu. Now McCarthy, the goalkeeper, takes over and plays it out to Bednarek. Good use of the clock here from Saints, but it's headed back into their half by Lindelof, chested down by Romeu. Now Walker-Peters urged forward down that left touchline. He's away from McTominay. Good battle that between McTominay and Walker-Peters.
It's good work by Walker-Peters, by the way. Very confident in possession in a tight area. The size of McTominay and maybe the strength that he was using against him didn't seem to faze him.
How many added minutes, Paul?
Sorry?
How many added minutes do you think there'll be?
I'm going to go for 3.
Yeah, not been too many stoppages, have there?
No.
Southampton fans on their feet around St Mary's. I think they've been pretty encouraged by this performance. It will be harsh on them if they were to lose it late on. Free kick for the Saints, fouled by McTominay and Walker-Peters. Ward-Prowse places it down a yard in from the touchline, scoops it forward. Fernandez able to head it clear. And here's Aaron Wan-Bissaka in the centre of midfield momentarily, and he plays it out wide to the right, and Greenwood. Got to get it forward here, United. Wan-Bissaka out to Shaw. Luke Shaw over the halfway line. Can they stretch this Southampton defence? Not with a pass like that. Straight to Livramento, and there's 5 added minutes. McTominay snapping away to win it back from Romeu, but neither side really able to keep possession here. Lingard into Sancho in the left wing position. We're in the first of the 5 added on. McTominay drills in the shot, blocked. Fernandez keeps it alive into the feet of Pogba, and then Fernandez out on the right hand side away from Shea Adams. Good tackle, Shea Adams. Fernandez again rolls in agony, but it was a brilliantly timed challenge. And then Pogba impedes Adams. A free kick for Southampton. I think a yellow card here for Paul Pogba coming out.
Yeah, he's jumped in. He's been petulant. He has there, Paul Pogba, because of Fernandez going down like he did. He felt he would just get retribution by doing a challenge like that himself. Great challenge that was, to be perfectly honest, by Shea Adams, clean as a whistle, and that was just petulance on the part of Paul Pogba with his challenge on Shea Adams.
Five added minutes. Southampton 1, Manchester United 1. Frustrating 2 points dropped away from home for United after all the exuberance of last weekend's win. They're just Just wasting time here, aren't they?
Certainly are. It'd be right to.
And surely the referee, Craig Pawson's got to add this time on, though. It's been a good minute since the play was halted. What will Ralph Hasenhüttl have made of it all?
He'll call it a great. He's calling it a great point in the moment. After the game, I think he'll be saying a different kind of words regarding the point if it stays as it is. It's been, for me, I just thought they were going to fall apart, and they've really surprised me, Southampton, because they deserve to be where they are at this moment in time in the game.
To throw in for Southampton. Jack Stevens, I think, has been booked for time wasting. To throw in level with the Manchester United penalty area over on the left-hand side. Walker-Peters to Diallo. Now Romeu. Fernandes forward to Shaw. Maybe one last chance for Manchester United with 2 added minutes still to play. Luke Shaw on the halfway line. Out to Jesse Lingard. Lingard checks back to the halfway line, and Pogba right in front of him takes over. Hollywood ball too far in front of Jadon Sancho, and that might just be the last chance, Paul.
Yeah, I think it is really. To be honest, they lost their momentum. Sancho coming on, Lingard's come on as well, McTominay's come on. All the momentum's gone what they had from that goal. It's definitely gone. I'm just waiting for that burst, which we saw so many times. We saw it last season here when they come here, when they got the first goal, and all of a sudden then you just felt just by the way they were playing. But they was just going to go on and win the game. They were so positive in possession. Everything was their passing was just being progressive going forward. We've seen it here, and they've been laboured going forward. They've been so laboured at the back. That's what cost them a goal. It's nearly cost them 2 goals. Namely Harry Maguire's been the biggest culprit. It's the best they deserve at this game at the moment is a point. There's no reason that they can say they deserve any more.
It's been a stodgy performance from Manchester United. Here's Luke Shaw trying to bring it down. Showed too much of it to James Ward-Prowse, and Saliso should clear it upfield for Southampton. We're into the final minute of the 5 added on. Wan-Bissaka has it down the right hand side for United, just inside his own half, and again a poor ball. Throw in for Southampton. That really sums it up as far as Manchester United are concerned. Bar that brief flurry after Greenwood equalised, they haven't been anywhere near at their best.
No, and you look at the goal they scored as well. You will look at the goalkeeper, his part in it really, but other than that really they haven't done anything else. Manchester United haven't done anything at all to suggest that they were going to go and get the second.
Throw in to be taken by Walker-Peters. When the Saints go marching on is the cry ringing around St Mary's. Down by the Solent. Pogba goes down holding his head. Referee has to stop the play, and maybe he will allow Manchester United to get one last ball forward towards the Saints penalty area. It's now or never, you feel. And it's Luke Shaw in time added on at the end of time added on. He's got to get it forward, Luke Shaw. He's away from Ward-Prowse, his former teammate, but he wins it back, James Ward-Prowse.
Poor play.
And Livramento brings it forward for the Saints. Shea Adams just trying to keep possession. Referee, I think, has had one look at the watch. Dinked forward by Southampton. Lindelof nods it back to David De Gea. Surely that's it. We've played 5.5 minutes. Still play continues. Scott McTominay to Pogba. There seems to be a reluctance by Manchester United to get the ball forward. Shaw. Got to play it into the area.
I don't know what Lingard's doing there, by the way, collecting the ball.
Pogba to Shaw. Referee has had a look at the watch. Shaw's cross, away it goes. Still he won't blow. He will now. And it's a really good point for Southampton. A little fist pump from Ralph Hasenhüttl. First drop points of the campaign for Manchester United. They fell behind on the half-hour mark. Shea Adams' shot deflected in by Fred for an own goal. When Mason Greenwood equalised with his second in as many games, 10 minutes into the second half, it looked as if United would go on and win, but they couldn't find a way past this stubborn Southampton defence. A well-deserved point for the Saints, and maybe them silencing some of their early season doubters. It finishes at St Mary's, disappointingly for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, despite the fact Manchester United have equalled Arsenal's top flight unbeaten away record of 27 successive matches. Southampton 1, Manchester United 1. Fernandes at his imperious best against Leeds last week. We've seen it, it's a good delivery. Lindelof didn't get there, and it's been hooked onto the crossbar and turned in, has it by Martial. Well, they're claiming it was over the line. The goal decision system says otherwise. And that Southampton goal leading a charm live. I think it was Maguire who hooked the first effort onto the crossbar, and Martial maybe should have buried the follow-up. Gineppo into Armstrong, backheel to release Adams. Might get a shot off here, Shea Adams! Southampton lead! Half an hour gone at St Mary's. A bolt from the blue for the team in blue, and it's Shea Adams who sends the home fans into raptures. Southampton 1, Manchester United 0.
Maguire goes down on his knees. I don't know why. I don't know why he's looking for a foul there either. Fernandes, it's not a foul, but he stays on the floor looking for it, doesn't recover, and actually try and win the ball back off of Jack Stevens, and he does take the deflection, but as the saying goes, Alex, if you don't shoot, you don't score.
Here's Pogba now inside the box still. Finds Fernandes, back to Pogba. Chance for Mason Greenwood. And Manchester United equalise. Mason Greenwood with his second goal of the season. And they are back on level terms. 10 minutes into the second half.
Now this is where the Southampton fans get really, really worried. United hadn't really been a threat. It hadn't really done enough to warrant getting back into the game. But they've just sat back. They haven't defended properly at all.
Forward to Greenwood on the edge of the area. Leaves it for Pogba. I think he contemplated the shot for a moment. Pogba might get a shot away on his left foot. Pogba steers it wide. Slaps the floor in frustration. Maybe knows he should have hit the target. Corner for Southampton. Ward-Prowse towards the near post, right across the face of goal from Adams. Southampton inches away from taking the lead for a second time. So the points shared at St Mary's. Ralph Hasenhüttl currently applauding the returning Southampton supporters, gives a double thumbs up to those home fans, and we'll talk about United in a moment, Paul, but Southampton deserving of that.
Oh, 100% deserved it. They didn't really hang on maybe as much as they thought they had to. I'm sure they thought they'd be more severely tested after they conceded the goal for the 1-1, but they weren't really. They'd done it really well. They didn't just sit in there and hope. They actually stepped out a little bit and tried to go forward on a few occasions. They never had it really. With Shea Adams and Adam Armstrong up front, it was always going to be a battle for those two. But the one thing they both did, they both worked hard without the ball to not make it easy at the back. And Hamilton, players got caught in possession in their defending third, tells you how hard they worked. So I think they thoroughly deserved their point. United really was very poor from their first game, so there's a lot for United to do at this moment in time.
Well, that just about sums it up. My thanks to Paul Parker. Finishes Southampton 1, Manchester United 1, Arsenal Chelsea on the way next. You're listening to Premier League Live.